Good noon, all of you. I hope I'm clearly visible and audible. All right. Let's see. Okay. All right. Good noon, Sonali. All right. So, what do we have today? We have vocabulary, right? And in what all exams is vocabulary asked? In all your other management entrance tests. So, I mean, all the exams except CAT ask you even direct vocabulary questions. Right. So in CAT, it will be an indirect affair in the form of RC passages, wherein, in the RCs, you may encounter some difficult words. But in the other management entrance test, you get questions such as synonym antonyms, fill in the blanks, odd one out, analogy, all of these question types. So you need to prepare for vocabulary even if you're preparing for one other exam apart from CAT, right? Hi Rite, good noon. Okay, so of course we learn new words today, that's on the agenda, and we'll see some question types. So my aim is to expose you to various question types that are asked in your OMETs. So what all question types are we going to cover? Analogy, fill in the blanks, synonym antonyms, migratory words. So we'll see a couple of them, not a lot of them. Migratory words are those that have come from other languages to English. For example, the word faux pas. Yes, what does it mean? Faux pas. Hi Kushagra, I'm good. I'm better than how I was last week. And yes, I am also coming to YT after a long, long time. Yes. So tell me, what does the word faux pas mean? Migratory word. It's a French term that has been adopted by English. It is pronounced as for, the X is silent, and pa, the S is silent. Right? Just like in Grand Prix, Prix is silent. I mean, this X is silent here as well. Right? It is not Grand Prix, it's Grand Prix. Right? So faux pas, if I translate it for you word by word, okay, it means a false step. Pa means step, okay, associated with a paw, and fall means fall. Just like fall leather is false leather. So a faux pas is a social blunder. A faux pas is a social blunder. Right, so a French term that has been adopted by English and it is now used very commonly in English. So these are called migratory words. Just like we have migratory birds, we have migratory words. Right, one word, substitution. Of course, this is a question type wherein the definition, the meaning of the word is given to you. You now have to tell me which is the word that fits this meaning. Okay, so a different question type than the usual ones. So these are some of the question types that we are going to see. We're also going to look at some commonly confused words in the form of fill in the blanks only, right? So for instance, we all know advice, advise, right? CESE difference, then affect, effect. So such words that can be commonly confused with each other because they are similar, right? Either in their spellings or in their pronunciation. Either they are homophones or they are homonyms. Okay. So let's have a look at these question types. And yes, I'll be timing you for all the questions that I give you, right? So here's your first question, and I'm giving you 30 seconds for this. Let's see what you say. A very easy analogy question. Let's see. Okay, Raghav Varman has answered the fastest, and he says it should be B. All right. Pratyusha A, Ritik B. Others? Quick. Your responses should be quick, okay? You should try to stick to the time limit. And those who are saying B are absolutely correct. B is the answer. To reprimand someone is to scold someone, okay? Or to criticize someone. Some synonyms are to chastise someone, right? So here, reprimand, scold, chastise, they all are concerned with, uh, of course, I mean, criticizing someone, saying something bad to someone. Okay. Whereas when I praise someone, I say good things about that person. So they are opposites. I'm looking for an antonym pair. And which one is an antonym pair here? Reduce is to increase. So B is going to be my answer. Right? Okay. Perfect. Other words are very simple. I don't need to explain to you the meanings of those. Right? Second question. Analogy. Stallion is to mare. What is the pair? Okay. Pratyusha, do you say B for this one? Yes. Okay. Pratyusha says B for this one, I think. Yes. Do like the session. Listen to our team. Yes. CMAT results are out. You can check your results. Okay. Virendra says D. All right. So stallion is the male horse, mare is the female horse, right? So that is the relationship. So in analogy questions, it's very important to first figure out the relationship of the question pair, right? If I don't know the relationship here, then it will be very tricky for me to identify the similar relationship, isn't it? So bull is to cow is going to be our answer here, D Delhi. Right, so these are common terms. Stallion, mare, you should know these, right? They'll help you with your analogy questions. Similarly, reprimand is not a very difficult word, so to say. It's a high frequency word, right? So what we'll be doing today are going to be high frequency words. Okay. All right. Then let's go to the next question. Give me an antonym for flay. Antonym. All right. So flay. To flay someone. Oh God, what does that mean? When you flay someone, tell me. So while reprimand is associated with scolding, rebuking, to admonish someone. It's concerned with, saying something through your mouth, basically using bad words. Whereas when I say flay, to flay someone is to whip someone, to beat someone, okay, such that their skin can come out. That is the meaning of flay. It's a cruel, cruel word. So, to strip the skin off, to whip or beat someone so harshly, that is flay. And the antonym for this is going to be, yes, I've got just one response. Hmm. Antonym, I need to give the antonym here. So, to peel, again, you are removing the skin of something. To upbraid, again, means the same, right? To scalp, these three are synonyms. When you scalp something, when you upbraid something, you are actually skinning it. Okay. So, sheath, on the other hand, it means to protect. To sheath someone is to protect someone, right? So, this is the opposite. All right. So, I hope this is clear. And D Delhi is the answer. Okay. Next, let's see what you say. think there's some lag between your giving the responses and my receiving them. Okay. So, antonym for brusque, that is what I needed. What do you say? Someone who is brusque. If I say she's impatient and brusque, what kind of a person is she then? So, someone who talks or who acts in a very abrupt, off-handed manner. Okay, in an abrupt or off-handed manner, that person is called brusque. Okay, so that means I need a positive word here. I'm looking for an antonym. So, famine is not at all related. Yes, I eliminate that. Someone who's captious. Is this person a friendly person? Captious. Or let's say this person would tend to uh, always be complaining, always finding faults with things. So, captious is a negative word. It means someone who's always finding faults. Okay, always raising objections. Cavilling is a synonym of captious. Cavilling. It also means fault finding, raising petty, trivial objections. Right? So even this cannot be the antonym. Now, between chivalrous and burly, I think you know what the answer is. Who is a chivalrous person? Yes, chivalrous. So, burly is actually not related here. It is associated with your physical build, your strength, your build. That is what burly is associated with. So, if you're strongly built, heavily built, right, that's when somebody will call you a burly person. Okay, he is burly, she is burly. Chivalrous, on the other hand, is when you're respectful. Okay, so it means respectful. Traditionally, it was used for men, right? Men who were respectful towards women. So we call them chivalrous, and the noun form is chivalry, right? So here, there's only one positive word, and that is why that is our answer here, right? A. Okay. Question 5. The fire destroyed 500 dash of hay. What did it destroy? Hay is what forms the fodder of farm animals, right? The fire destroyed 500 dash of hay. Okay. So Raghav Raman says B. Others, what do you say? Okay, B. All right. Okay, perfect. So this is a question, I mean, a similar question to this was asked in SNAP, I think last to last year, right? And these were the options, bales, bales, bells, right? So instead of hay, there was cotton there. So for hay, paper, cotton, whenever I talk about the bundles of paper, bundles of cotton, bundles of hay, I call them bales, right? So B-A-L-E-S. This bale, okay, is to grant bail to someone. Yes, he bailed out on me. You must have heard this idiom, right? Right. When you bail out on someone, that means you don't, they need you, but you abandon them in times of their need. That is when you bail out on someone. So to grant bail to someone, it's a legal process where someone is released from jail, okay, temporarily, and to bail out on someone is an idiomatic expression when you abandon someone who needs you. So anyway, this is not the answer here. It cannot be the answer. Bell does not fit at all. So B, Bangalore. Okay, excellent. Question 6. What do you say? Okay. Because the Dash incident left countless civilians dead, the Sri Lankan government has labeled the strikes as a big blow to humankind. Yes. Come on. So, gorilla, gorilla. Both are pronounced the same. One alternative spelling of this is Guerrilla. This is also a correct spelling. Okay. Sonali says A should be the answer, and some others also have said A. All right, perfect. So when we talk about warfare, when we talk about some disturbance, we don't use this gorilla, we use this gorilla. This is a war tactic. Okay, guerrilla warfare is actually a war tactic where you do something in an impromptu way. It has a shock element, surprise element to it, right? So let's say you ambush your enemy, right? So that's a guerrilla warfare tactic. So because of this guerrilla incident, the Sri Lankan government has labeled the strikes as a big blow to humankind. This is the ape gorilla, as we all know, right? We don't use this for warfare, for any disturbance. Okay, all right. So Ritik, for critical reasoning, okay, VA, CR, parasummary or not. Okay, all right. So basically entire VA and critical reasoning. Okay. If you want to practice critical reasoning separately, then there are two sources from where you can practice. One is the GMAT official guide that has critical reasoning questions. The other is a book called 1000 CR Questions by Kaplan. So this is exclusively dedicated to critical reasoning. I mean, Ritik, you are enrolled with us, so the book that you have, the BYJU'S book that you have, will also have critical reasoning questions. You can practice from there as well. Now, VA, when it comes to VA, again, one is your book. What other sources exist? See, you will not find some dedicated book for, let's say, just para summary or just odd sentence out. You will have to rely on previous year papers. That's one. You'll have to rely on the topic tests that you have. This is for those who are enrolled with us, the topic tests that you have, right? And apart from that, for para-jumbles, again, all the entrance tests, they ask para-jumbles. So, even if, let's say, you want to practice type in the answer para-jumbles, non-MCQ para-jumbles, just pick up any para-jumble question, even if it has an option. It has various options. Don't see the options, solve it without options, and then check your answer, right? So you don't need a special source for type in the answer parajumble. All the existing sources, even those that have MCQ parajumbles, will serve your purpose, right? So I think these are your sources. For VA, you'll not find some one dedicated source where you'll find the questions. You'll have to explore multiple sources. So in case you're preparing for NMAT, NMAT has an official guide which will have all these types of questions, parajumbles, okay, and para summary also, a couple of them. So you can explore that. ठीक है? Yes, correct, Shri. Guerrilla warfare. Now, question 7. So, yes, Sonali, Wiley's book along with your practice tests. So, these are your topic tests, your sectional tests, your mock tests. So, all the tests that are there for you. These combined with your Wiley's book and previous year papers, this is enough. I don't think you need to go beyond that. You need to refer to other books for VRC. She says D. Okay, I've got my first response. Others? So pay attention to the context, right? It's an easy question. If you pay attention to the context, all dash parameters. So first of all, I need an adjective here. What kind of parameters, right? Referendum does not make sense at all. So what is a referendum? Hmm. Okay. When you want to make a decision and you ask each member of the public to vote on that decision, that's called a referendum. So, for example, for Brexit, whether Britain should exit from the EU or not, a referendum happened. Okay, where people had to vote whether they wanted to exit or not. So this is called referendum. Okay, taking referendum is called a form of direct democracy. In case you remember some of your civics lessons from school, you must have studied it there. So this does not make sense in this context. Similarly, nurture parameters does not make sense at all. Relevant, yes, that makes sense. Operational also makes sense. Okay. What about the second blank? So basically, we are saying we need to validate. We need to first see that all the parameters they are doing fine, and that the system is significant, the system is important, or the system is reliable before we can, launch the project. We want to check whether the system is reliable or not. Then only we can launch the project. Okay, so D is better in the second blank. Significance does not make much sense. And what is recalibrate? Recalibrate. It's called mandate. Shri, in that case, we say that it has the popular mandate, right? So, referendum is used only when each person has voted directly towards that decision. Okay. So, I asked you something. What do you say? What is the meaning of recalibrate? Recalibrate. It's used in science, recalibration. For machines, we use recalibrate, right? To, of course, to calibrate something again. So here, in this sense, when I use it in a metaphorical sense, it means to adjust, simply to adjust. Okay. So if I say that, we will have to recalibrate our plans according to our new reality. That means our old plans are not going to work. We'll have to adjust our plans. Okay. In science, though it is used for adjusting some measurements, it has to do something with machines also. Okay. All right. It's a referendum on good governance. So, if yes, people have voted for something, then we can say that this result that we have seen today, it is a referendum on good governance. So, it depends on whether people have directly voted for that thing or not, right? That is what is going to decide it. Okay, all right. So, I hope this is clear to you. We needed an adjective there, so operational, and here reliability. Okay. Again, an analogy question, but here now you have to find just one word. Okay. What do you say? See, referendum is something that is about a specific political question. You do not see a referendum happening in a country every day. Okay, it is and it's an exceptional scenario in democracies that we have indirect democracies, right? So therefore when it happened in Brexit, it was a one off scenario. Similarly, a lot of people say that we should have a referendum on the matter of Kashmir, right? We should hold a referendum and ask the people of Kashmir what they want. So it's a single specific political question on which a referendum happens. Whereas elections, they're a cyclical process, right? So every 5 years we have elections. So they are not referendum, so to say, right? They'll be called polls, as you said. Okay, elections. D, B, all right. What else? Sorry. Okay, so D versus B. Let's have a look. Sagacious. So to remember it easily, you can associate it with a sage, although it is not etymologically associated with a sage. Sagacious is somebody who is wise. Okay, and this wisdom has been attained due to age. So wise because of his or her age. That person is called sagacious. Right. So you can always associate it with someone old in your family whom you consider very wise, sagacious. Sapient again means someone who is knowledgeable, someone who is wise. That is why our species is called Homo sapiens. Okay, we consider ourselves to be pretty knowledgeable. Acrimonious. Acrimony, it comes from acrimony, which means bitterness, resentment, right? So, a feeling of acrimony towards someone is a feeling of bitterness and resentment towards that person. So, the word here we know we are looking for synonyms. So, the synonym of acrimonious is not repugnant, it is rancorous. Repugnant is disgusting. Okay, something that is disgusting, something that is repulsive. Okay, so something that makes you strike back, something that makes you want to strike back. Okay, that thing is repulsive, disgusting. Rancorous, again, rancor means bitterness and resentment. So it is associated with acrimonious. Okay, synonym hai. That's why B. Now, virtuoso, also pronounced as virtuoso. So a virtuoso player, a virtuoso writer, somebody who is an expert, somebody who is a veteran, somebody who is known in their field, very skilled, exceptionally skilled, is called virtuoso, right? So highly skilled. And if this person has been playing for a number of years, then we would call him or her a veteran as well. Otherwise, if this person is pretty young, then we can call this person a prodigy also. Okay, so highly skilled, prodigious or prodigy, genius, those would be the synonyms. Okay. How to learn these words? So the way we are learning them right now, one is through questions, right? The other is, as I said, that sagacious, associated with a sage. So I asked you to form an association, a word association. I asked you to create a mnemonic that associated with sage. So that is one way, creating mnemonics. Then I also told you that you can also associate it with some person in your life. So creating a visual reference for yourself. Right. So this is how we remember words, by applying them to various contexts in the form of questions, by associating them with a word, another word, with a person, etc. Okay, your association can be auditory also, it can be olfactory also. So you can, for instance, the word piquant. Piquant means something that has a sharp taste or smell. I always associate it with pickles. Similar sounding also, and has justifies the meaning as well. So you can associate it with such things. Okay, ये तो बड़ा $1 million question है योग्यता, even I don't know, right? So I hope these words are clear. Let's see another analogy question. Okay, so what do you say? All right, A, D, C. Okay. Okay. So what is the meaning of opulent? Let's see. Which all words do you know the meanings of here? Opulent. Someone who is very rich. Okay. Quite wealthy. So instead of saying he is very rich, she is very rich, say she is opulent from now on. Right? So opulent. Impecunious. Im means not. Pecus means money. So somebody who's impecunious is penniless, does not have much money. Penniless, right? So what are we looking at? We're looking at antonyms. This has been established now. Parsimonious. Parsimonious कौन होता है? Yes. No, Himanshu, that's not the case. Uh, it's just that, a lot of students, what they do, they make associations. So, for instance, while I may not know the exact meaning of parsimonious, I may have heard this word in some context. And based on that, I can guess the meaning. So, try doing that. Somebody who is miserly, right? Okay, so in order to learn this, the mnemonic that I often give students, जिसको हमेशा पर्स में मनी रखना अच्छा लगता हो, parsimonious, पर्स में मनी, right? That is parsimonious. Okay, so that means I'm looking for the opposite of miserly, somebody who's spending a lot, extravagant in his or her lifestyle. The answer for that is profligate. Okay, profligate, wasteful, extravagant, spendthrift. These are all antonyms of parsimonious. Wasteful, extravagant, spendthrift, profligate. These are not related to parsimonious. Adrift, something that is floating away, drifting away, that is adrift. Adroit, skillful, especially in the use of hands, is somebody who is adroit. Okay. Recluse. If I call someone a recluse, are they very social or are they not? Yes, tell me. Are recluse people social or do they just like to stay alone? They like to stay alone. Okay, so such people, they avoid being social. They want to spend they are happy with their company. Such people are recluse, right? Reclusive is the antonym and recluse is a noun. Reclusive is an adjective, I'm so sorry, and recluse is a noun. Okay, so he is a recluse versus he is reclusive. This is how we are going to write a sentence. Okay, perfect, perfect. Correct. Yogiraj, Sri, Sonali, Mayank, correct answers. Okay. Now, similar in meaning to moribund. You have to give me a synonym. Brusque, you already know the meaning of. Lively is an easy word. Even. Lucid is an easy word, isn't it? Lucid means something that's very clear. So if I said he made a lucid argument, that means his argument was very clear and logical. So these three are eliminated. Okay, they are not the antonyms of moribund. Now here the catch is that you should know the meaning of moribund, isn't it? So this mor, this root is associated with death. Okay, so mortuary, morgue, sorry, GUE, okay, just please understand my writing. Then morbid, these are all, they all come from this root mor, which means death, right? So moribund is also something that is declining in health, that is not very vital, not vigorous, that is moribund. And if something is on the decline, we call it obsolescent, on the verge of dying. Absolutely, obsolescent is the answer here. We wanted a synonym. Lively would be the antonym. Okay, let's see 11th. You have to give me the opposite word this time. Furtive. So, the first time I came across this word must have been in a romance novel because it's a word that is often used when we talk about romance between two people, that the one lover cast a furtive glance towards another lover. So furtive glance, I mean, this is not the meaning. A furtive glance is a glance where you don't want to be noticed. It's a very secretive glance. You think that if somebody notices you, you'll be in trouble. So Correct, correct. Yogi Raj, Mayank, absolutely. And therefore, the opposite is going to be D, Delhi. Fourth right. Okay, it means pretty straightforward. Now, incognito again means secretive, right? It again means disguised. So this cannot be the answer. Sly again means clever, and sometimes when I use it in the sense of a glance, again casting sly glances on someone is again looking at them in such a way that you don't want to be noticed. Eerie, eerie. There was an eerie silence. Yes, clandestine is a synonym. Correct. Clandestine is a synonym. Clandestine is usually used for meetings, for affairs, right? Furtive, usually you will see it in the context of glances. Eerie silence in the room would mean a strange silence in the room. Eerie means strange, right? So, hope this is clear. You learned some new words. Okay, this is your one word substitution. Anything that makes one feel encouraged. Yes, clandestine also means secretive. Correct, correct. Mayank has answered. What about others? Okay, Philip. All right. Okay. Hmm. One of you says lithe also. When do we use lithe? Again, try to recall if there's any sentence where you've read this word lithe, lithe body, lithe figure. Okay, in this context, you would read it. So, somebody who's thin and graceful, for them, we use the word lithe. Okay, it does not have anything to do with encouragement. So, C is eliminated. Intention eliminated. Adjoin means to join one thing with the other, right? So, adjoining houses are houses no sorry those will be adjacent houses. Adjoining parts in a machine would be parts that have been joined with each other, right? So that is adjoin. It can also be used in the context of next, two things lying next to each other as well. I think yes, we can safely say adjoining houses also, adjoining terraces also. Yes, because I've heard this. So being next to or joined. Okay, so Philip is our answer here. Now, Philip is not to be confused with flip. Okay, so Philip means something that acts as a stimulus, something that really encourages you. So, if I say that getting that one answer, one question correct provided me the last minute Philip that I needed to score well, right? So, Philip is stimulus. Okay, yes. Very easy. I have included this question with a different purpose in mind. So I wanted to talk to you about these similar words. 13, I think you know the answer of, especially anybody who has even some knowledge of the stock market. We call it equity. But have you ever wondered why is it called equity? Because there's another meaning of equity. Yes. So let's first talk about the general meaning, then we'll come to the commerce meaning, and then we'll relate the two. Right? Equality. It means equal. Right? So there are a lot of posters that I've seen that talk about the difference between equality and equity. So, for instance, um, traditionally, women have been discriminated against in our society, right? It's a patriarchal society. Now, if today we tell them that, okay, you are equal to men and therefore everything will be given in an equal manner to both of you, right? To both the genders, and we'll talk about other genders also. Right now, I'm specifically focusing on women and men, right? So that today I tell them this, that things will be given to you in an equal manner, but that won't help them. Why will it not help them? It will not help them because if they are standing here and men are standing here, and today I tell them that things will be given to you in an equal proportion, then they will move further from here. Okay, let's say I hand them something, they will move further from here by, let's say, this much margin. They will be able to move further by this much margin only when I hand them equal things. But ultimately, to kya hua? They remained here and they remained here. So this was not addressed. So that means we need to hand them resources in proportion to their relative positions, in proportion to the fact to how much each was advantaged or the other was disadvantaged. That idea is called equity. Giving someone things in proportion to their need. In proportion to their need. Right. So I saw a very beautiful poster regarding this, that let's say I want to distribute shoes among children. Now, if I give the same size shoe to everyone, that is equality, but that won't help them because their needs are different. Somebody's shoe size is 5, somebody's shoe size is 7. So I should ensure equity there and not equality. Clear? Okay. Now, what is equanimity? Equanimity, this is different. This is different from equality and equity. It just shares the root, equus. So let's break this. Anim means mind. It means heart also, soul also, but here let's talk about mind. And this means equal or even. So someone who is calm and composed, even in the times of distress, possesses equanimity, and that person is called equanimous. So equanimous is the adjective, equanimity is the noun, right? So even-minded, calm, composed, that's the meaning. I mean, okay. And what is inequity? Why does it have an I? Is this a misspelling? Yes, is this a misspelling? No. Inequity means sin. It is used in a religious and moral context. It means a sin. It is not related with equity and fairness. So this means fairness. Okay, whereas this means sin. All right, any queries, please ask. Adharma, correct, correct. Now, how is then equity related to the equity shares? Why are they called equity shares when I know that equity means fairness or giving somebody things in proportion to their needs? Because of this idea itself. So what happens for that if I hold equity shares in a company, I will be given the profits of that company in proportion to my ownership, in proportion to the number of shares that I hold, isn't it? So because my returns are in proportion to my investment, in proportion to the shares that I hold, they are not fixed. They are in proportion. That's why it's called an equity share. Okay. Hope this is clear. सबको समझ में आ गया? If there's any query, please ask. Now, migratory words. We'll do two migratory terms. One we've done, FOPA, Dio volente. So there's something very interesting here. See this. This is a Latin term. Okay, Dio volente. Now, look at this Dio. In the word adieu, or to bid adieu to your friends, to say goodbye to them, this Dio is actually God. Okay, because goodbye itself means goodbye is a contraction of, it's a contraction of may God be with you. May God be with you. So earlier people used to call you as ye. So may God be with ye was contracted to goodbye. Okay. So this Diu means God. Then in Spanish we say adios. Adios amigos. Right. This Dios there means God. Okay. When we say goodbye, we actually take the name of God in a way. So this Dios, Diu, Dio in different languages. So this is French, this is Spanish, that is Latin, and in Hindi also we have something called Dev. Yes, Dev wala jo idea hai. This all these ideas they mean God. So Deo volente means God willing. Okay. Deus, yes, Deus is called God. That's why we have Homo Deus as a book that has been written by Yuval Noah Harari. Deus also means God. Okay, so no matter which language you are using, in different languages, similar sounding words mean God. Okay, hope this is clear. Yes, Himanshu, you can absolutely improve your vocabulary through reading because you will come across these high frequency words time and again in various articles. Okay, so reading is one way, it's a long term way too, because when you come across something again and again, then your mind forms a connection. Okay, I always read this word in this context, so it must mean this. So, this is a long term way. Then there are, of course, a number of short-term ways. The short-term ways are various word lists that are there, then vocabulary books that are there in the market. These are the short-term ways, and basically, I would not call them short-term. I would call them relatively quick ways to enhance your vocabulary. So, for instance, Barron's 800 list or word par made easy. They help you to amass about 1,000, 1,500 words, right? So, for instance, word par made easy will help you to amass about 1,200 new words in a span of 1.5, 2 months, right? Which is a very good number. So, these are some quick ways. And yes, you do improve. Okay, it's not that I'm. These are just a matter of luck. In fact, open your IIFT paper, IIFT, the recent paper itself. You will see that a number of questions that came in vocabulary, they were from word par made easy. In the sense, the words that were asked were from word par made easy. So, in case a student had done it, he or she would benefit there, right? So, don't think ये luck का matter है. No. Hmm. We have these vox pop shows. MTV started this trend wherein you would interview people, ask their opinion on various things. Vox pop. Okay, so pop there stands for populi. See, pop culture is nothing but popular culture. Pop means popular, right? So vox means voice. Populi is people, population, people. So voice of the people is vox populi. And therefore, the answer is public opinion. D Delhi. Correct, correct. Welcome, guys. Welcome. Uh, yes, Barron's 800. If you do even about, let's say, 10 words from it every day, then in about 2 months and 20 days, right, you'll be able to complete it. So go for 15 words, go for relatively more words and finish it early, right? So vocabulary is something that, you should start with early because later on a lot of other concerns such as LRDI, such as quant, they come up, and then students lose that vigor that they initially have. So why not capitalize it right now and do some vocabulary words, go through some word lists, or let's say go for a vocabulary book, and it'll help you to build your confidence also. Okay, it makes you a very confident communicator, right? Okay, so I hope you'll join us there. Thank you for attending. See you next time. Bye bye.